Good morning, guys. Anjani Kumar here, dealing power system 2 for third year electrical students. Right. In the last session, we completed the sag calculations for equal height of the towers. Right. Up to now, we completed what is the definition of a sag, what is a span, right? What is the tension, what is the ground clearance, right? So how the transmission line is going to be erected between the two transmission line, what are the advantages, what are the disadvantages, right? All these things we discussed. If it is tightly connected, what are the advantages, what is the disadvantages? If it is loosely connected, what is the advantages, what is the disadvantages? All these things we discussed, right? So you have to ensure that the perfect sag we should maintain in order to get the best design of a transmission system, right? And what are the shape of a curves, right? If it is greater than 100,000 feet, so shape is a catenary shape, a parabolic shape, and all these things we discussed about. Less than 1,000 feet, it's a parabolic shape. And what are the influence factor? If you design a perfect sag, what are the factors that are influenced from the transmission system? So what is the tension value, right? How the load is distributed, right? All these things we discussed. And after that, what are the factors that are affecting the sag that we discussed? After that, the sag calculations we done. So, but in order to, if you want to know the sag calculations, there are two approaches. So, two approaches. First one is the equal height of the towers. After that, unequal height of the towers. We studied about up to equal height of the towers. If it is equal height of the towers, so what is the formula? Sag is equal to WL square by 8T. So where W is the weight of the conductor, L is the length of the conductor, and T is a tension in the conductor. Right. So actually, this is the formula to find out the sag between the height of the towers or equal height of the towers. In today, we are going to deal about unequal height of the towers. How the sag will be, we'll discuss. Wrote sag calculations in unequal height of the towers. Alright, so that is nothing but hilly areas. So on the bottom side we have a tower, on the top of the hill we have a tower. So these two towers are going to be unequal weight. So in that moment, what is the perfect sag we should maintain in that condition? So that we'll discuss now. Now we'll see the height of the tower. So in unequal heights, I'll draw the figure. So one height is like this, another height of the tower is like this. So this tower is, we can call it as A, and this we can call it as a B. So these two are unequal heights. Now the transmission line is going to be erected like this. Right? So this is the transmission line. Now the length of the transmission line is a L. Right? So I don't know which one is the middle point in the transmission line, right? That I am assuming that this point, we are assuming that point O. It's a point in the transmission line. I don't want to say this is a middle point of this, right? So for this support A, the distance. So this distance. So we can call it as a sag 1. For this support, this is a sag, right? Yes, 1. Right? For this support, this is a sag 1. And for this support, this is S2. Right? So for this support, this is a sag1. For this support, this is a sag1, sag2. And what is the height difference between these? So this we can call it as a height difference. So that much H height is above than A. Right? So what I did means, so the distance that we are assuming, this is not the midpoint. So I am assuming this. So this distance is x1. I am assuming this distance is x2. So x1 plus x2 is nothing but L. So sag calculations on unequal height of the towers, right? So there are two towers, A and B. These two towers are unequal heights. From the figure itself, you are seeing these two towers are unequal height of towers. Now we are erecting the transmission line. The shape of the transmission line is like this. The length of the transmission line is L. That means a span. Right? So we are assuming that the point is O. Right? Now from support A, the point O. So this is the top of the supporter and this is the lowest point that you are assuming. Right? That is not accurate, but we are assuming this is the lowest point. So this we can call it as a sag S1. Right? From the support B to the point O. So this difference we can call it as a sag2. We are assuming, right? From this distance you are assuming that x1, and this distance we are assuming that x2. Right? Now the supporter's height difference, so we can call it as a h. The h height difference is present in the system. So this is a figure that I explained clearly. Now I'll write out the equations, right? So L we can call it as length of span, right? Length of span, right? W be the weight of the conductor. Right? H is nothing but so difference in level. So between two supporters. Right? So x1 is nothing but the distance between first support to O. See, x2 is distance between second support to O, right? And now T is a tension in the conductor, right? So what are the parameters that we are assuming that now the parameters is L is the length of the conductor. So this is the length of the conductor, right? Weight of the conductor for unit length. That you are assuming that each and every time you are assuming weight for unit length itself only. Alright. H is the difference between the two levels. This is the difference between the two levels. This is x1, first support to midpoint O. So this is x2, second support to the midpoint O. And T is a tension in the line. Right? Now you will know the formula. Now you will know the formula, right? So what is that formula? So what is the S1 here? So what is the formula? S1. So you know that S1 is equal to W x1 square by 2t. I don't know, x is L by 2. That's not L by 2. That's why I'm using x in place of x. You are putting x itself. In place of x, in a last session, in place of x, you put L by 2. From that, you will get omega x square by 8t. But this is not x equal to L by 2. Right? And you know the sag 2. What is the sag 2? W into x2 square by 2t. That is not midpoint. That's why I am assuming x1 and x2. Right? And you know x1 plus x2 is equal to L na. So from here we will see x1 plus x2, you can call it as L na. right? So these three things we will know. So from this you will solve. First do S2 minus S1. So S2 minus S1. So W x2 square by 2t minus W x1 square by 2t. So from this W by 2t common this you will get x2 square minus x1 square. So how you can write it as a square minus b square, that means a plus b into a minus b, x2 plus x1, x2 minus x1. Any doubts? It's simple. A square minus b square is equal to a plus b into a minus b, right? So from that you know x2 plus x1 is nothing but L na. You can substitute in place of x2 plus x1 is a L. So W L by 2t x2 minus x1 is equal to S2 minus S1. Alright? So think clearly, understand. So that means S2 minus S1 is equal to WL by 2t into x2 minus x1. Right? Right? You know that what is S2 minus S1? This is S1, this is S2. S2 minus S1 we can call it as H value now. One more note, we missed that one. S2 minus S1 we can call it as a H. Right? So you can substitute in place of S2 minus S1 put H. So what is the height? H is equal to WL by 2t x2 minus x1. Alright. So from this, so what is H value? So what is the H value? H is equal to W L by 2t into x2 minus x1. So from this, what is x2 minus x1? 2t h by W L. Right? So from this, so what is x2? x1 plus 2t h by W L. And what is x2? x1. x2 minus. So x2 minus 2t h by W L. Or else you can write it as x1 plus so you can write it as x1 plus th by WL by 2. So you can write it as x2 minus th by WL by 2, or else whatever it may be, right? So from this is one type of find out x2 and x1, and after that you know x2 minus x1 is something, x2 plus x1 is equal to L. These two equations you know na? So with this you can find out the x1 and x2 na? You know x2 minus x1, you know x2 plus x1. So with this you can find out the x1 and x2. So what is that x1? So x1 if you solve, that means x2 minus x1, x2 plus x1, something. If you cancel it, you will get 2x2. So from the sum this you will calculate x2 value. So in this way, this is one type of patterns. Another pattern is you know x2 minus x1, you know x2 plus x1 is equal to L. So from these two, so with the help of these two equations, you will calculate what is the value of x2 and x1. So from this you will know that x1 is equal to L by 2 minus th by W L. x2 is equal to L by 2 plus th by W L. In this way you have to calculate x1 and x2. Right? This is one way, direct equations. This is another way. Right? If you want to find out the x1 and x2, these are the formulas. Just find out the x1 and x2, substitute in this equation. S1 is equal to W x1 square by 2t na. This x1 you have to substitute here. You will get S1 sec And what is S2? Wx2 square by 2t. Substitute this x2 is here, you will get S2 value. Right? You just want to left this. This is not the way, but this is a theoretical calculations. Right? Actual value of x1 is x2. In this place, you find that x1, but you don't know the x1 value. That's why you don't need to consider this one. But this is a theoretical thing, but you don't want to write it here, right sir? Right? You know that from this you have to calculate. You know that x2 minus x1 is equal to 2th by omega L, x2 plus xl is x1 is equal to L. From these two equations, you will find out the x1 is equal to L by 2 minus th by x2. You know x1 and x2. You will find out the s1 and s2. So these are the two sacs that are going to be present in the system when two towers are unequal towers. So I just want to explain one more time. This is the two unequal height of the towers. I am assuming the point O, which is not the midpoint. Right? So which is not the midpoint. So from this, from this supporter and this is the supporter, the level difference we can call it as a height. Right? So from this supporter to point O, so we can call it as a sag 1. From this supporter to point O, this we can call it as a sag 2. Right? And I am assuming that the span length is L. So I am assuming that from the distance from O to this support we can call it as x1. From O to this support we can call it as x2. Right? All these things we write out. So what is the equation for S1? You know the equation for x1. S1 is equal to Wx1 square by 2t. S2 is equal to Wx2 square by 2t. And x1 plus x2, you will know that x1 plus x2 is equal to L. You know that these formulas. And S2 minus S1 also you can know. S2 minus S1 we can call it as a H here. So these are the things from the figure itself you will understand, right? And calculate S2 minus S1. So what is S2 minus Wx2 square by something. You will do something, you will get x2 minus s1 is equal to wl by 2t into x2 minus x1. So from this, what is s2 minus s1 h? Substitute here. You will get x2 minus x1 value, right? So you will get x2 minus x1 value, and you know the x2 plus x1 value, right? From these two equations, you will find out what is x1 and x2. L by 2 minus th by omega L, L2 plus th by omega. So from this substitute, s1 is equal to wx1 square by 2t. Puts x1 value, this x1 value here, you will get s1 value. Put x2 value here, you will get s2 value. So these are the unequal tower sag calculations when two towers are unequal towers, right? So what are the two things that we concluded till now? There are two equations for unequal towers. What is the sag? For equal towers, what is the sag? So if two are unequal, so what is the sag value? If two are equal towers, so what is the sag value? S is equal to WL square by 8t. If two towers are unequal, so what is the sag value? So that means you have to know what is x1, what is x2. So x1 is equal to L by 2 minus th by WL, L by 2 plus th by WL. So from the substitute, x1 is equal to wx square, x1 square by 2t. x1 substitute, you will get s2 is equal to wx2 square by 2t. You know the x1, x2. Substitute here, you will get. So these are the two sags when the two towers are unequal towers. Alright. So with this, we completed equal towers calculations, unequal towers calculations. So if you have any doubts regarding this session, you feel free to call me about these two things. Alright. In the next session, we are going to. This is air around the conductor, right? The conductor chuttu, we have an air only. So if the countries like cold countries, the conductor chuttu ice is going to be inserted in this. In that fashion, definitely if ice is inserted means the weight of the conductor increases. If the weight of the conductor increases means the conductor sag should be increases, right? And these type of cases, what is the total weight of the conductor, right? All these things we'll discuss in the next session. Right. So in this session, what you discussed means what is a sag calculation when what is the sag calculation when two unequal towers are present in the transmission system. So thank you very much. In the next session we'll discuss about what about the ice loading present in the system.